There's a tiny chance of a hull puncture, which would suck us into space one chunk at a time.
They brought manosaurs with them? The hell's wrong with these people?
This reminds me of the punchline to a joke I heard once.
As much as I love caves, let's make this quick. Manties love them too.
Right behind you, Captain. Promise.
Benji.
This'll be fun! Here they come!
On it, Captain!
Covering you! Oh, nothing like a good tussle.
Benji. You remember that time? That time we... Yeah, fishing. Down on Stellar Bay. You read my mind, Benj. Black sun on the water. Waves glinting like teeth. Swallow us whole. That sky. The rock. It's whispering, Benj.
Maybe next time I stay on this ship.
Crawl down deep. Let the beast consume. Benji. Can't hear you. You breathing? Ben?
I figured the mines were gonna be trouble. Didn't think they'd be crawling with mants. Must have gotten out of HIA a while ago. They've been busy here. Something about the tunnels here gets under your skin and into the worst parts of your head. Makes you feel not yourself. In case I don't make it out of here. Marauders must have followed me from OCI. Time to make tracks while the mants are busy. I'm shedding some extra weight. It's yours if you...
This'll be fun! We're alive.
holding some extra weight. It's yours if you find it, whoever you are. You need it more than I do now.
I'll keep it down.
Help me! Ha! Yeah! Nice work! Catching! Yeah, all right.
That's the last of them.
I don't know what those researchers were doing in here, but I'm glad they stopped.
I'll get him! Damn, cat! Good score, cat!
Not bad for a scrappy little team. This is a fine hideout.
This unit is Please return. have a better than this unit. Please return. Error. Tilt alarm engaged. Entering Oh, this unit. Please Error. Please have a
Real slick.
Hey, there you are. Did you manage? Well, I'll be damned. Now I can finally get off this rock and go home. I know it's not much, but take the last of my bits. You've earned every single one, friend. My pockets? Oh, sure, here's a few more bits for your trouble. Call it hazard pay. No, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it seemed like there could be, when we were servicing the phonographs, or sharing a beer, but who'd be interested in some forgotten old bastard like me? Fair enough. Cheers to not giving a shit about my love life. Any other horrible truths you want to reveal to me? Or can I get back to my drinking? She couldn't have been. We were together all the time. Except, oh shit, my weekly calls with headquarters. What could she even want to ask Olivia Ambrose about? Doesn't make sense. Good fucking law. Headquarters would kill me if they knew. Right after they killed her. Hell, being stuck here might have been the only thing keeping me alive. Listen, I appreciate you telling me what happened with those recordings, but I need some time to think. Got a lot to process. Yeah, I'll just see you around.
You're not gonna believe this, but Leonora paid her tab and told me she won't be coming back. I'll miss her, but she deserves a classier joint anyway. She left with a spring in her step. Told me to thank you on her way out. Something tells me she's gonna be all right. Have a round on me.
Hey, String. Let me... All sorts of...
We are receiving an incoming signal.
Captain, I see you've made some headway on Gorgon. Mother's old work terminal just lit up with a bunch of new protocols. Very exciting. What about Mother's journal? Any progress there? Are you accusing me of deception? Captain, I would never. Can you hear me, Captain? I'm getting some interference on my end. Captain! Captain! Hello again, little weasel.
I must admit, you've surprised me. I threw nearly everything I had at you, and you overcame it all. Well spotted, Captain. We've both played our roles well, but it seems you've got the edge. I may have gravely underestimated you. You were smart to hire him, Wilhelmina. Well done.
Mother, you're alive! And still on Gorgon? Something tells me we've only seen the beginning. This is so you, Mother, inserting yourself where you aren't needed and at the worst possible time.
Am I disrupting your vanity project, you empty-headed little twit?
Mother is going to fill your head with lies about me and Gorgon. Don't listen. Have you come back just to ruin everything again, Mother? At least this time I have the power to stop you.
Captain, this is a distraction. Let's set our differences aside and focus on what matters. Adrena time must never be revived.
I may not have told you all of the facts, but I'm going to lay out everything I know. You can decide for yourself what to do with it. By now, you realize that Project Gorgon was devoted to a single drug, adrenatime. A drug that hit the market in spite of calamitous side effects. Quite right. There's no end to the harm a poorly run team can do, even with the best of intentions. The project was a colossal failure, but you and I are going to revive it from the ashes. Adrenatime was a lie. Our drug will fulfill its broken promise for workers and employers across the colony. Mother wasn't equal to the task. Thankfully for us both, I'm not my mother. Give it some thought, Captain. We've come so far together. Don't abandon me now. Mother's journal contains the activation codes for the adrenatime synthesizer, the key to a new Project Gorgon. We're going to start again, and this time with everything Project Gorgon didn't have. Better R&D, better scientists, clear goals, more funding, and a timeline that makes sense. You have every reason to doubt me. But if you have a shred of hope for a better colony, consider what adrenatime could do for us. If I can improve the chemistry, I can fix adrenatime. We can put this colony back on track together. I learned from her mistakes, and I have no intention of repeating them.
Listen to yourself. Adrenatime ruined lives. It killed people, changed them. And now Halcyon buckles beneath the yoke of my failure. We can't risk opening Pandora's box a second time.
What about my life, Mother? The Ambrose name has no dignity anymore. I can't even show my face around Byzantium without being the gossip of the town. Of course! What do you think this is all about? Why do you think Spacer's Choice is willing to write me a blank check? Every day, workers slump over from exhaustion. The gears of industry swallow them whole, and no one is coming to help. Adrenatime is the break we can't fit into the schedule. The office with a window we can't afford to build. It's the best this rotten colony can do for people. It's a bandage, not a cure. Halcyon is wounded, and I will do everything in my power to stop the bleeding.
Don't let those bloodless leeches at Spacer's Choice walk you down this perilous path, Wilhelmina. You haven't the fortitude to endure it.
As usual, Mother projects her failures onto me. If she had let me get involved from the start, we might have avoided this calamity altogether.
Minnie doesn't have the mind or the backbone to do the truly difficult work of genius. She is an empty-headed social climber, nothing more.
You see what I mean? Mother is afraid of being outdone by her empty-headed daughter, and she'll do anything to stop me. If I can save the colony and redeem the Ambrose family name, I owe it to myself to try. Mother be damned. Social engineering takes generations, and we don't have the luxury of time. We need to mainline progress into Halcyon's bloodstream. You've seen more of this colony than the average grunt. You know as well as I do that this is a question of survival.
Finally, a sensible question. I am the head of Project Gorgon, its grand mastermind. I created Adrena Time because I believed, arrogantly, foolishly, that I could uplift the common man through chemistry. I failed.
We already had our chance. Mother chose to bury the project and drag our family.
In rehabilitating Adrena Time, she would poison Halcyon. No, we are...
I need that facility online, but I can't do it while Mother's still a problem. By now, deal with her however it suits you, and get that...
Don't do this, Wilhelmina.
Adrena Time is our future. It's bigger than...
Return to my family's manor, Captain. Use the executive override code in my journal to activate the NDA protocol for my terminal. It will destroy the Gorgon drug synthesizer and put an end to Adrena Time for good. Consider quickly. Wilhelmina will... She will try to force you to fight her. She is still my...
Captain, in light of recent events, I'm putting the manor under lockdown. Until Mother is dealt with, anyone who lands here is presumed harm. Finish the job.
in orbit above Gorgon.
I keep my promises, Captain.
Here we go! Nice hit! Nice one! Hit him with something bigger! This one! Take him down! I'm taking cover! Love a quick fight.
What was that? What was that?
Returning fire. Here we go.
Huh. Heard something.
Stalking. Stop.
Not to complain, but I'm getting sick of stairs. If they didn't want to tempt us, why'd they lock it up? I'd rather crawl through another HIA than work in a place like this.
Attacking!
Nice one! Just like that.
Good tussle.
You ready? Because I've been ready since she messed with us at the OCI.
Feels like we're in a vertical coffin, if I'm being honest.
think she's in there? I'm ready to end this. You gotta teach me that.
Great work. I'll give you one thing, little weasel. You are relentless. I did everything in my power to stop you, yet here you stand before me, offensively alive. Just so we're clear, if you intend to restart this machine, you'll have to go through me. I'm done talking. Cooperate. All that remains is action and inaction. Kill me, or let me destroy this place. If you believe this will be that simple, you haven't been paying attention. I can no more walk away than I can voluntarily cease breathing. I will die before I let my empty-headed daughter resurrect Adrena time. Do you understand? There is no working with Spacer's Choice. You work for them. If you refuse, they sell your contract to a rival firm staffed by your enemies, or seize your housing and turn you out onto the street. And if you've really irritated them, they simply kill you. An inside job? Huh. Even Sophia will never see that coming. Who would want to give up all that power? Sincerely, I wish you luck. I suspect you're just about the only person in this colony who believes that's possible. Besides that madman, Wells. Judging by his wanted poster, he's always lived on the tail end of the sanity bell curve. He has it right. The board doesn't care for Halcyon. They'll do anything and use anyone to see their ends met.
Their ends don't even make sense either. The hell's the point in hoarding bits in a doomed colony? What are they gonna do? Plate their coffins in gold?
She has no intention of curing the Marauders. She's only going to make more of them. Adrena time is addictive. It's poison. The only way they can perfect it is by making it more irresistible. The only way you're touching this reactor is over my dead body. And I am not afraid to die, Captain. Very well. I'd like to ask you something before we end this farce. I think I'm due that much at least. You've plumbed all the sordid depths of Gorgon. You know how many lives my work destroyed, and still you want to revive it. Why? You know that's not true, and still you say it. Either you are astonishingly naive, gravely misled, or a cynical opportunist. There is not a solution to every problem, and you can't just will one to appear out of thin air. Some things cannot be fixed, Captain. Adrena time, this colony, me. Find peace in that if you can. I doubt you'll find it anywhere else. But enough. You didn't come here for a lecture. Let's get this charade over with.
Arrived at Ambrose Manor.
it! The Gorgon asteroid is under my control. The Ambrose family curse is broken, and my legacy will rise from the ashes in triumph. Thank you, Captain. We're going to change the Halcyon colony. This time for the better. As for Mother, what's done is done. I grieved for her long ago. The woman who perished on Gorgon was only her shadow. And indeed I shall. I'll see that Adrenatime fulfills its broken promise to this colony. Thank you for your faith in me, Captain. I haven't forgotten your payment. Here's a little extra for your discretion.
Always prefer getting paid to getting shot for my silence.
I'm still not sold on this, but suppose the only thing we can do now is hope they get it right the second time.
Of course, my gratitude goes out to your crew as well. Equal contributors all, I'm sure. This has been a long time coming, Captain. I can finally get on with my life, and the colony can begin to heal. Where do you go from here? What heroic challenge will the intrepid Captain of the Unreliable conquer next? A true romantic. I envy your freedom. If they ever filmed an adventure serial out of your life, it would be one to remember. Good luck out there, Captain. I would wish you safe travels, but I do so admire how you rush headlong into danger. Keep it that way, won't you?
Got nimble fingers, Captain.
Dear Wilhelmina, I hope this letter finds you well. No, it's too stilted. It sounds like I'm writing to request a loan. Dearest Wilhelmina, I regret to tell you... Law, no, that's worse. When have I ever called her dearest? She's my daughter. This should be easy. How can a mother not know how to talk to her own daughter? My love, I can no longer... For your safety, I must... Oh, hell. Even if she despises me for what I had to do, I should still be able to say goodbye. Minnie, I have to leave, and I don't intend to come back. I love you. I'm so sorry.
You might want to consider. Consider changing your clothes more often. Welcome back, Cap. How can I be? I'll be. Captain, I am pleased to inform you that we have successfully landed on Tartarus. Please be advised that electrical storms on the surface of Tartarus make departure impossible at this time. Resident count is as follows: 3,071. Resident deaths, including but not limited. The interior can be chilly. I would also ask that you leave your captain's ID with me. Understood. If you die or are incarcerated for life, I can generate a new ID for the next captain. Oh, speak of the devil. Captain, I am receiving a transmission.
You're the backup, right? From Akande? Thank the law you're here. These bloodthirsty sprat bags have no respect for the law. We're pinned down. Good. Came through a while ago, but we haven't heard from him or Adjutant Akande in too long. You've got to help us. Please. Kill them. Summary justice for the whole lot. Their biometric ID? I could transmit it. But that'd be against Protocol H927G. If anyone found out, I'd get thrown into a cell right alongside these damn prisoners. I'm never supposed to violate protocol. Never. All right. But if anyone gets on my case about this, I'm sending them straight to you. Got it? There. Data transmitted. Hope this disguise of yours works. Tartarus security out. Hang on. Is that another ship coming in? I think that's from the groundbreaker. Cripes, did that Tennyson woman really send reinforcements? Between you and the Mardettes, we may be able to retake the docks. Good luck out there, Captain.
Transmission terminated. Biometric ID received. Transferring data to external cartridge. How can I be of assistance? Take care.
Hey, why are we on Tartarus? And why do I get the feeling I'm never leaving this ship?
The captain did right by us.
What's that? That noise
Cover!
Something.
Forward for groundbreaker.
We lost one.
Reminder, poor uniform maintenance will result in a citation.
I never planned on seeing the inside of this place.
Gotta admit, I'm not too keen on walking into a prison. If they lock me up, I'm liable to kill everyone trying to get back out. Whew. We have a lot of shooting to do, Captain.
Huh? Carry on.
I don't have time for this.
Hey. What was that? Whoa, hold on. Where'd you come from? You from solitary? What was it like out there? Ouch. I bet. Put a boot up some UDL asses for us. That'll get the kinks worked out fast.
Let's go, troops. Stellar Base counting on us.
Hey, you! Whoa, hold on. Where... Whoa. Damn. Well, thank the Void we don't ever have to go back.
right, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So, get in there and fight!
Nice. Calm before the storm and all that.
Hope you're right about this, Captain.
You know, I could have sworn I tested you for hearing loss. Because I did say skip the Hope to Terra 2. Terra 2, not Tartarus. We could have saved this colony, you know. That was always the plan. I revive you, you do as I say. I tell you to go there, get me this, shoot that, and you do as I say. If you'd just listened to me, we could have rescued everyone on the Hope. We could have been the saviors of Halcyon. But you didn't listen. No one in this damn colony ever listens. Fighting back! I've released every prisoner in Tartarus. We'll take this prison over, or die in the attempt. We will not go quietly into the night. And you may be a scientific prodigy, but I've got something you don't. Incipient senility, and a small army of crazed inmates. I don't care how many guns you've brought. If you try and stop me, by law, I'll bloody your damn nose. Were you always this violent? Or did something happen to your brain after I thawed you from the ice? I knew I was taking a risk when I revived you. You were always the unplanned variable in my calculations, but I never imagined you'd be so utterly loathsome. You won't have to hear the sound of my voice much longer. I don't intend to leave here alive. Adjutant Akande is my captive. If I'm to die here, then she's coming with me. Well, yes. The adjutant is your employer, after all. I was expecting something of a reaction. If you insist on interfering, I will be forced to kill you. And I don't want that. I don't, you backbiting, double-crossing ingrate. I loathe everything you've done, but I was the one who revived you. I hate destroying my own projects. I can't imagine we've got anything left to say. Of course you had a choice. You could have chosen any number of ways to tell the board to get spaced. You're one of the most cunning freelancers Halcyon has ever seen. You should have been able to evade the board's grasp. I refuse to believe that. You make it sound as if we're beaten from the start. The board's only strong because no one fights back. Let go. I've barely got anything left. A few tattered shreds of my dignity. A gun. My life's work has been an exercise in futility. The only honorable way to end it is to go down fighting. So you found out. I suppose it's not enough that you ruin my every plan. You must also humiliate me by reminding me of my failures. Yes, I've killed people. Is that what you wanted to hear? I experimented on dozens of the Hope's colonists. Every last one of them died in agony. They were never patients. No, they were just things. Husks of frozen organic matter. It was only when the screaming started that they became people. It always starts with screaming, followed by thrashing, followed by cell death. The average human adult takes 93 seconds to completely liquefy. Stop it. Don't you think I know that? I killed all those colonists. I can never atone for what I've done. Enough! I can't take any more of this. I know what you're trying to do, torturing me with your words, reminding me of all my failures. Yes, I failed. There, I've said it. I'm a failure. I failed the colony. I failed myself. I failed you. Congratulations. You've broken me. Does that put a smile on your face, you monster? I've wasted enough of my breath. I've programmed the Labyrinth's mechanical warden to kill you on sight. I'm sorry to have to do this, but I can't take any chances with you. You were my greatest success, and my greatest...
Hell of a job. Making it look easy.
Thank the law you're here. That madman was out of control. You were right to put him down. He was too far gone to be of any use to us. And what about you? You aren't hurt, I hope. You're a model soldier and a credit to your profession. I appreciate everything you've done. You've put down the worst riot in our history, rid the colony of a dangerous madman, and saved my life. The board owes you a tremendous debt. We don't have a moment to lose. We're gonna have to work together to save Halcyon, because the situation is far worse than you imagined. What I'm about to tell you must never leave this room, under any circumstances. We've lost all contact with Earth. It's been 3 years since we've received a message. We've had no contact, no signals, nothing. Earth has gone dark. 2 years ago, the Earth Directorate's frigate disappeared en route to Earth. We don't know if they ever made it. We don't know if there's an Earth to go back to.
They haven't exactly been hands-on around here anyway. So there's one less rubber stamp to worry about.
Earth was more than just some distant colonial authority, Dr. Fenhill. Earth was our lifeline. And now, we've been cut loose.
So we've got to make do on our own. Seems to me that'll make us stronger in the end anyhow.
We must find a way to carry on by ourselves. For better or worse, Halcyon is the only home we have left. We're alone, Captain. That's all I know for certain. Whatever happens to this colony, we're going to have to deal with it on our own. Returning to Earth is not an option. I'll answer however I can. I couldn't risk this news getting out. Before you, the 2 people in this colony who knew the truth were Chairman Rockwell and I. I had every intention of telling you the truth after you'd skipped the Hope to Tartarus. Unfortunately, Phineas Wells chose that moment to start a riot. Yes, we do have a long road ahead. You're the reason I'm still standing here today. The board will survive. It's time we carried out the program. I support your decision wholeheartedly. You've proven yourself the most capable leader in the colony. Now more than ever before, Halcyon needs strong leadership and a steady guiding hand. I look forward to serving as your adjutant. We're on our own now. Earth isn't coming to save us, so we're going to have to save ourselves.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The riots in Tartarus ended in a total victory for the board. Without any significant threats to challenge their power, the board asserted their control over the colony. The lifetime employment program began immediately, and the people of Halcyon did exactly what they were expected to do. They obeyed. Sophia Akande converted the labyrinth from a prison to a processing center. She jettisoned the original colonists out of the Hope and transformed the ship into a massive storage facility. One by one, the workers of Halcyon surrendered themselves to the program. They arrived with their families and their friends, their colleagues and their neighbors, and then, one by one, they marched into their stasis chambers. As the workers of Halcyon slept in their hibernation chambers, their settlements became ghost towns, left behind by the Board to be reclaimed by nature. Only Byzantium remained, a shining beacon of civilization in an otherwise abandoned colony. The people of Byzantium spent the rest of their days gorging themselves on their stockpile of resources. As for the workers of Halcyon, they never felt the effects of the collapse. They never felt anything at all. As the Board began to enact the lifetime employment program, Sanjar and Zora brought another option to the townships of Terra 2. Many workers joined MSI, bolstering Sanjar's ranks and giving Zora more forces to work with. Though none of Sanjar's policies spread to Byzantium, many smaller townships that might otherwise have been shuttered thrived under his and Zora's combined leadership. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing Board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. Over the years, the ruins of Edgewater caused irreversible environmental damage to the landscape of Emerald Vale, owing largely to the presence of toxic compounds in the town's building materials. As for Edgewater's former workers, their remains provided a source of nourishment for the region's fauna, leading to an explosion in the sprat population. The collapse of Edgewater left its workers bereft of any purpose in life. Most of them made their way to Adelaide Medevitt's camp, hoping to ingratiate themselves into her favor. Adelaide accepted only a few to her community. The rest were turned away and likely died of starvation. Nevertheless, Adelaide's camp grew into a well-established town. It was only a matter of time before the adjutant sent her troops to wipe out Adelaide's town. Only one deserter escaped the massacre. He was believed to be carrying the last remaining copy of Adelaide's research. The bounty on his head remains unclaimed. While the Groundbreaker remained mechanically stable, the changing times forced Junlei Tennyson to make some difficult calls on behalf of her community. The work of maintaining independence was an uphill climb, and she found herself caving to bad faith compromises with the Board. Time will tell if the Groundbreaker can endure. As smaller settlements were swallowed up and their workers drafted into the lifetime employment program, Byzantium continued to thrive. While its citizens lived in decadence and extravagance, a small cadre of scientists worked to solve the nutrition crisis that threatened Halcyon. No one else much noticed the townships that disappeared from the map, or the luxuries that slowly lost their luster year by year. Even the Gorgon asteroid, though a distant enigma to most of Halcyon, felt the aftershocks of your actions. Gorgon's restored facilities presented a tantalizing boon to the lifetime employment program. The promise of a more productive, more compliant workforce. It was too good for Akande to pass up, especially when Tartarus and the many underperforming townships across Terra 2 offered fodder for additional research. Minnie Ambrose found herself leading the project under Akande's watchful eye. Her organizational acumen kept the project afloat, but just barely. With the specter of failure ever present, she came to appreciate the struggles the late Dr. Ambrose had faced. In spite of everything, the Gorgon asteroid remained a sobering reminder of the potential for progress and disaster in humanity's most ambitious efforts. The truth about Rizzo Spectrum Brown was buried in the abandoned ruins of their old distillery. The company designed a new drink using the rancid harvests from the old purpleberry orchards and a dangerous amount of brown food coloring. This second launch of Spectrum Brown was sold in Byzantium at an exorbitant price. It was incredibly popular, Ruth Bellamy never forgot the words you said to her. Rather than despairing over the death of her sister, she found the courage to make good use of her life. As a response to the Lifetime Employment Program, she began writing and starring in her own serials. These were filled with subversive ideas critical of board authority. In retribution, Akande confiscated her estate and banned her serials. Bellamy declared that she had no regrets. The Lifetime Employment Program led to a boom in the aetherwave industry as more and more Byzantines demanded entertainment. With the absence of Ruth Bellamy, the question on everyone's mind was, who could be the next Halcyon Helen? Burbage 3001's performance during the investigation on Eridanos made it the ideal contender for Helen's replacement. Some years later, after Odeon Pictures released the brand new Burbage 3002 model, it was found mysteriously destroyed by a plasma weapon. Cedric Kincannon did not take kindly to losing the vast majority of his subordinates to hibernation. Despite the board seriously entertaining the idea of offering Sublight a seat, Cedric was nowhere to be found. Any theories that he left Halcyon entirely to begin a new life on some undiscovered asteroid with his former secretary Eileen are, of course, just theories. With the board's newly renewed grip on its seat of power, the public's increased interest in the aetherwave industry, and the death of his primary acting rival, Spencer Woolrich expected to return to the limelight as he so rightfully deserved. Much to his chagrin, however, his roles remained few, and quickly grew fewer. As his fall from stardom solidified, Woolrich found himself reassigned to menial labor and placed in suspended animation to support the Lifetime Employment Program. It seemed that as much as he had resented her, Halcyon Helen had been all that separated Spencer from complete irrelevancy. Tossball in Halcyon changed dramatically after the Lifetime Improvement Program. With roughly half of the league's players in hibernation, existing teams were forced to merge. The upheaval caused a great deal of infighting between longtime rivals, who found themselves on the same side of the tossball hump. This, in turn, led to a pronounced increase of knives during play, and a period in tossball's history known as the blood loss across the toss. Bertie Holcomb groused in private about the general fictation of tossball spectators. Once, enraged by the sight of a Byzantine seated in the front row with a fancy drink, Bertie leapt over the dividing wall to the stands, seized the offending beverage, and stabbed the man in the hand with its tiny umbrella garnish. New laws against this infraction were created after the game. Bertie Holcomb would live forever in the annals of tossball history as the first player to have received a penalty for audience participation. With the situation in Eridanos taken care of, and with Byzantium's sphere of influence rapidly expanding, attention on the Prophet of Profitability's productivity seminars multiplied 100-fold. High-rungers all over Halcyon flocked to Eridanos and its newly opened Productivity Expansion Reserve. The Prophet herself remained at the forefront of her discipline, until a violent encounter with a rival spy. Actually, no more than a curious fan saw her fade into the background for the remainder of her days. Your influence shifted Ellie's perspective. She finally admitted, albeit grudgingly, that she just might need other people. Sometimes. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She hired a small crew and flew supply missions to communities on the fringe. Some of them were even legal. As the board reasserted control over Halcyon, Felix came to realize that his life as an upstart rebel had come to an end. The board's victory crushed any hope for a grand revolution across Halcyon. And so Felix, once again, found himself without a purpose in life. And so, disillusioned with his former boss and with nowhere left to go, Felix left his crew without saying goodbye. He was never heard from again. As a reward for his part in her courageous rescue, the adjutant invited the vicar known as Max to become one of the leaders of the Order of Scientific Inquiry. But Max had no interest in serving any organization, let alone the OSI, which he knew would never tolerate his heretical theories. Instead, he attempted to minister to the people of Byzantium. They rejected his ideas, being far too satisfied with their own material comforts. Disillusioned, Max gave up and left the city. He was never heard from again. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. As the board began to roll out their lifetime employment program, Parvati was increasingly plagued by dreams of freezing to death, and rarely left their shared quarters. Stymied by dwindling resources, Junlei struggled to keep the Groundbreaker afloat. Their relationship couldn't survive the strain. Parvati moved into crew quarters and found work servicing water pumps in hydroponics. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. Adjutant Sophia Akande was instrumental in executing the Lifetime Employment Program. Following the death of Chairman Rockwell, Sophia Akande served as the loyal adjutant to her former freelancer, now the most powerful person in Halcyon. With Halcyon's workers suspended in a state of hibernation, starvation and chaos are problems of the past. The Lifetime Employment Program succeeded in its goals, but that success came at a price. The Halcyon of today is nothing at all like the colony of yesteryear. Power remains concentrated in Byzantium, but all the colony's resources serve the lifestyle of the elite, thereby transforming Halcyon into one of the smallest and most exclusive colonies in the system. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? You brought an end to the chaos on Tartarus and proved yourself the most capable leader left in the colony. With Sophia Akande as your adjutant, you returned in triumph to Byzantium. All of Halcyon was yours. In time, you demonstrated a talent for leadership that far surpassed your predecessor, Chairman Rockwell. With your steady hand, you guided Halcyon through the turbulent years to follow and helped ensure the colony's survival. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.